Welcome to second Inderes ESG Day. My name is Karoliina Loikkanen and I'm heading Inderes ESG Solutions. Today we're going to have 3 companies representing their ESG approach, telling a bit about the risks they face and also the benefits they're going to get from the green transition. But before I give room for our great companies, I would like to give a few words about ESG. And like you can see from a bit provocative headline, I would like to take a look at what are the topics to watch out when talking about ESG and when listening to ESG presentations. What are the topics to understand really to get most out of it? Because we are living an era of hype. So like I said, the ESG scrutiny is increasing. We as investors might be a bit confused about what's going on. We can see that there are a lot of controversies. There are a lot of discussions about ESG ratings. One of the most famous example being that Tesla was kicked out from one of the most famous ratings, and in other ratings, it's still one of the leaders in ESG. So how to know whether an ESG rating is reliable? Should I kind of trust on the kind of an outcome of the ratings or assess something by myself? Then we are also witnessing an anti-ESG movement going on in Florida and Texas. And both of those anti-ESG movements are quite political in nature. It's really about kind of banning institutions providing ESG funds in certain instances and occasions. We also are witnessing greenwashing discussions. Quite well-known brands such as Hennes & Mauritz or Nestle are accused of not walking the talk. And then we also are witnessing a kind of a development around ESG funds where the status is that today we are kind of seeing the first time for a decade when there is an outflow from those funds instead of continuous growth. And then, last but not least, we are also seeing that the NGOs and third parties, third stakeholders are taking these topics up in annual general meetings, but also through other channels, and even the board of directors might be sued if they have taken wrong climate strategies. So what to watch out, what to actually look at when talking about ESG, what is reliable information, what is good, what is bad? There is no one single response to that question. However, when we take a look at investors' approach on ESG, we now have a few quite interesting findings. We did quite a small study on how private investors are approaching ESG. And the answers were quite interesting because close to 50% of private investors are actually assessing ESG in a way or another once they make their investment decisions or investment strategies. So even though we are living in a hype, we are not 100% clear what we are talking about when we're talking about ESG. We have broad range of kind of agendas and broad range of discussions. ESG still matters to investors. What are then the topics to watch out when trying to assess how a company is making on ESG? I don't have a single clear answer, but I can give you three topics to look at. First, megatrends. Each sector is impacted in a different way by environmental megatrends. It's quite obvious that we have, unfortunately, climate change, we have biodiversity challenges, we have water scarcity. And we need to innovate and provide solutions to tackle those challenges. Additionally, those megatrends are impacting different sectors in a different ways. If you think about the industries which are fossil fuel dependent or sectors which are fossil fuel dependent, the impacts are rather bigger than what the impacts are for example, a media house. So how the specific sector is impacted is worth to take a look at. The second thing is, how are the companies responding to the change ongoing on the sector? Are they able to adjust their operations? Do they need to change their operations? Do they need to innovate and actually develop a totally new business model to be able to continue the business during the era where everything is changing? Are they slow changers or are they forerunners? Are they able to add value to shareholders once they are kind of adjusting to the change? Then the third thing, which is last, but I would say not least, is the operational practices. This might sound like I'm not interested, this is only about compliance, but it's actually quite a topic to look at. When we take a look at companies and how globally they need to operate today, we have increasing amount of challenges related to human rights, related to talent management, related to competition on talents, related to education, things like that. Companies are facing those challenges once they're operating in countries which are or may not be working in a similar way than we are used to here in the Western world. More importantly, more and more of these things, human rights, environmental management, are becoming regulated. And we are speaking about sanctions related to those regulations, meaning that the sanctions might, in some instances, also have an impact on the revenue. That remains to be seen. The scale of the impact remains to be seen, but it's still a topic to look at going forward. With these words, I hope that you will enjoy our event and you will have a really good look at the sector-specific challenges our companies will present you and the sector-specific opportunities as well. Thank you.